Welcome, everyone. This is the Masterclass. My name is Patricknazareth. I have around 30 years of teaching experience, and I'm here to help you with your doubts if you have any. Today, we are going to study poems by Blake. We are going to look at two of his poems. The first is On Time, and the second is On Shakespeare, 1630. The poet John Milton was born on December 9th, 1608 at London, England, and he died in the same city on November 8th, 1674. He was an English poet, a pamphleteer, and historian. He is known and regarded very highly for his epic Paradise Lost. He is the most significant English author after William Shakespeare. On to the poems then. The first. Fly, envious time, till thou run out thy race. Call on the lazy leaden stepping hours, whose speed is but the heavy plummet's pace. And glut thyself with what thy womb devours, which is no more than what is false and vain, and merely mortal dross. In the first stanza, the poet addresses time. He presents time as something which is relentless, which one cannot stop. It moves slowly but surely. And then he goes on to suggest that what happens when time moves on its way. Material things which we strive our whole life for, which is nothing in the eyes of God. Ultimately, when we die, they go to somebody else. If you build a house, that house might fall down with time. These worldly objects, which we work so hard our whole lives to obtain, are nothing but markers of false pride. Continuing on, so little is our loss, so little is thy gain. For when as each thing bad thou hast intoned, and last of all thy greedy self consumed, then long eternity shall greet our bliss with an individual kiss, and joy shall overtake us as a flood. We actually lose very little to time, because what does time take from us? Material possessions, property, clothing, gold, jewelry. These can be considered immaterial in the larger scheme of things. There will come a day when time itself will vanish. At that moment, we shall become one with God. We will be gathered up into His embrace, and we will know joy, we will know happiness as never before. When everything that is sincerely good and perfectly divine, with truth and peace and love shall ever shine about the supreme throne of Him, 'twas happy making sight alone, where once our heavenly guided soul shall climb. Then all this earthly grossness quit, attired with stars we shall forever sit, triumphing over death and chance and thee, O time. Poet tells us, when we become one with God, what are we left with? Everything that is good and perfect and beautiful. What are the emotions that we are left with? Truth, peace, and love. And we will be sitting around the throne of God. We will be there in His mercy. And then our souls, which were tied down to this earth by material things, will be freed of everything. And we ourselves, wearing the stars in the sky, we shall sit along with God. And that is going to be our ultimate triumph. We will gain victory over everything that touches us today, whether it is death, whether it is luck, or even time itself. The next poem, what needs my Shakespeare for his honored bones, in the labor of an age in pile stones, or that his hallowed relics should be hid under a star-pointing pyramid? The poet here suggests that Shakespeare has done such a lot in his life that after his death, when he is buried, he doesn't need to have such a great structure erected that people will always look at that structure and remember Shakespeare. Dear son of memory, great heir of fame, what needest thou such weak witnesses of thy name? Thou, in our wonder and astonishment, hast built thyself a livelong monument. For whilst to shame of slow endeavouring art thy easy numbers flow, and that each heart hath from the leaves of thy unvalued book those Delphic lines with deep impression took. The poet is basically saying that Shakespeare doesn't need a man-made structure. He doesn't need a huge monument to remind people of his glory. Because during his lifetime, he has written so beautifully. He has created such works of art that everyone who reads them carries Shakespeare in his heart. And when Shakespeare is carried in everybody's heart, every person who lives is a testament to the greatness of the man Shakespeare. Dost make us marvel with too much conceiving, and so sepulchred in such pomp dost lie, that kings for such a tomb would wish to die. The poet compares Shakespeare's writing to the oracle at Delphi. Delphi was a place where the Greeks believed the gods spoke through the temple priestesses. Therefore, everyone bowed to their wisdom. The comparison with Delphi tells us that Shakespeare is as much respected for his wisdom as the oracle at Delphi was at its time. His writing is so good that it has made all of us into monuments. We cannot conceive how a man could write so beautifully. We go over his writing again and again and we are struck by how well he has written. He is actually buried inside us. The poet says that even kings will not gain such immortality because they will simply build monuments for themselves. Monuments will fade and pass over time. What are the themes that run through these poems then? The first poem speaks to us of time, that no matter how powerful it is, no matter how inevitable it seems to be, we will conquer time and we will no longer be frightened of it. The second poem speaks to us of the genius of Shakespeare, how he has made himself immortal through his art, how his works are so beautiful that it is going to outlive all of us. It has outlived him certainly. It will outlive your lifetime, my lifetime, and everybody else also in the future. That's the poem then for you. I hope I have been of some assistance. If I have, please do remember to like, subscribe, and share. There might be other people out there who need our help. Thank you for watching.